Minister.
Thank you, Cahill, and thank you, Minister, for being here today. I want to mention something that I believe is urgent, and it affects 110 children in the state, and it's very time sensitive, and that's the ongoing delay in access to the Duchenne muscular dystrophy treatment, which is Givinostat. It isn't about debating the policy on how medicines are given, it's about the children that have been affected and their families, and it's also about how the time delays are affecting those children. I was contacted by a constituent and who has a child, and I'm going to call him Jack. He's 11 years old. He loves superheroes, an ordinary little kid, and he should be worrying about friends and school. And at the moment, he's worrying whether his body is going to keep up. So every step he takes, it becomes more difficult. And so families, as you know, Minister, that are living with Duchenne, it becomes a countdown. And they don't talk about it much, but it's always there. So they have to look at how long will he be able to climb the stairs, how long will he be able to play football. And what is awful about Duchenne is that it's relentlessly progressive. So whatever is lost is actually lost and cannot be regained. And that's why Givinostat really matters in this situation. Families know there is no cure, and they're not pretending otherwise. But what is important is the time for the likes of Jack to walk that bit longer, to be independent, and time to hold on to the ordinary moments that childhood should bring. So for the parents, progress, it won't be measured in clinical terms. It's measured in the short-term wins and how long he can continue playing football, continue climbing the stairs in the house. So when Jack's mum first heard about Givinostat, she didn't feel false hope, but she realised that actually the story wouldn't only be about loss, that something in the progression of the disease might be slowed down. And I think that's where the Duchenne community really hope that Givinostat, if allowed, isn't just another medicine, that is actually a lifeline for them. So, Minister, you have received all of the details regarding this particular case, and I know the HSE has provided a response regarding the HSE's assessment of the reimbursement process. And I understand that there are systems and safeguards, but what the families are struggling with is the actual silence. That they're not hearing anything back. The reimbursement application for Givinostat has been in progress since August 25. So 18 months they have been working on this, and it has been under consideration. But unfortunately, there's no timeline, no indication of when a decision might be made, and no sense of when the end is in sight. So for the Duchenne community, the delay is what matters, because, as I mentioned, every regression is a loss that cannot be regained in the child's body. So they're not asking for shortcuts, they're asking for clarity, asking for honesty, and for a system that understands what is actually happening regarding the children. Givinostat has already EU conditional authorisation, and it's available in other jurisdictions, and it is seen as a treatment that is slowing the disease. But in Ireland, the children are being left in limbo, and that's hard to explain to a parent. So today, Minister, I'm asking for three things. First, an acknowledgement that the lack of any clear timeline is causing real angst amongst the families. And second, when will the HSE and the CPE processes, when are they expected to conclude, as families, they deserve to know in this regard? And finally, that the HSE be asked to prioritise and expedite the assessment of Givinostat, given its regulatory status and availability elsewhere. So when a treatment has already met EU standards, it's not unreasonable to expect momentum in our own jurisdiction. So these families, they're not looking for promises, they're just looking for clarity, straight answers, transparency, and I think time is a serious factor here. Thank you, Minister. Thank you,
very much. Senator, Minister.
Again, thank you, Senator McCarthy, for raising this issue. And I am again taking this on behalf of Minister Jennifer Karen McNeill today. And a very important topic, as you said, Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a rare disease affecting fewer than 200 people in Ireland. The Minister met with families of the children with DMD in July in 2025 and spoke at the MD Ireland's National Conference in December 2025. The State acknowledges the importance of access to medicines and is aware of the plight of patients with DMD. This government is committed to providing timely access to new and innovative medicines Significant investments have been made in recent years, with the annual spending on medicines now more than €3 billion. This is a very welcome investment to support patients through the availability of the new medicines. This investment has included dedicated funding of €158 million for new medicines in budget 2021 to 2025, but in budget 2026 allocated an additional €30 million of funding for new drugs. All of this investment has allowed the HSE to improve reimbursement for 250 new medicines or new uses for existing medicines, including 101 for treating cancer and 69 for treating rare diseases. So, Givinostat, sold under the brand name of Duchenne, has recently undergone assessment by the European Medicines Agency. So, the EMA evaluation recommended that in granting conditional marketing authorisation for the treatment of DMD in abundant patients aged 6 years or older. So the European Commission granted this conditional marketing authorisation on the 6th of June in 2025, Senator. So the HSE has statutory responsibility for decisions on pricing the reimbursement of medicines and medical items in accordance with the Health, Pricing and Supply of Medical Goods Act 2013. The Minister for Health met with her Italian counterpart at the EPSCO Council meeting in June 2025 to ask him to encourage the developing company I hope I'm saying this right, Farmaco, to submit a timely pricing and reimbursement application to Ireland. So on the 6th of August 2025, an application for reimbursement was received by the HSE and underwent a rapid review by the National Centre of Pharmacoeconomics. So that happened, as I said, really quickly. So following the conclusion of a rapid review on the 14th of August 2025, a full health technological assessment was commissioned by the HSE on the 26th of August 2025. On the 30th of September 2025, the NCPE met with the developer to assist in the HTA process. And the assessment could not continue until the NCPE received the full health technological assessment from the company, which was received on the 15th of January 2026. So this, Senator, has been received in 2026. The HSE have advised that they will process and assess any pricing and reimbursement applications received as efficiently and as possible within the resources available to them. The HSE has also advised the application remains under consideration and they cannot make any comment on possible outcomes from the outgoing process, but it is, I can assure you, being looked at, and it is a priority for the Minister. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much, Minister. Senator.
Thank you, Cahill. Thank you, Minister. And thank you, Minister, for being so forthright with that. I will say just the final sentence where the HSE has also advised that the application remains under consideration and they cannot make any comment on possible outcomes from the ongoing process. So timelines are still questionable there. So I fully accept assessments exist and procedures matter, but unfortunately the Duchenne disease, muscular dystrophy, NND as you say, it does not wait for process, and the children's illness doesn't pause while we're dealing with the paperwork. So we're 18 months from the initial assessment into this application, and there's still no final timeline. So every month, every day really, really matters, and it's sort of like shrinking windows at this stage. So parents are not asking you to bypass any legislation or safeguards, but they are asking you to name a time frame, to say, is this decision weeks away, so that otherwise they're living in complete certainty. And so I'll just ask you, Minister, just once more, if we could make sure we commit to a clear timeline regarding Givinostat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Minister.
Yeah. And thank you. And Senator, you're right. It is important that we get a timeline. And I know that there has been a lot of meetings, as you can see through my first response. So what I will say is the Minister is absolutely committed, and I can assure you that she does appreciate the importance of ensuring patients with Duchenne in Ireland have access to the latest treatment. And as a Minister in the Department of Health, I am very appreciative of this too, and I do understand. So the HSE has sole statutory responsibility for making decisions on which medicines is reimbursed, but the Government is committed to investing in the medicine since 2021, and this is going on since 2021, and the HSE has approved 250 new medicines on new uses for existing medicines. But what I can say is the 2 new framework agreements in principle have been reached with the Irish Pharmaceutical Healthcare Association and Medicines for Ireland on pricing and supply of medicines. And as part of these, the state and MFI and the IPHA have agreed to develop a future strategy partnership which will support the department in developing a pilot early access programme focused on rare diseases in line with commitments in the programme for government. So they are looking at, because there is, a few other rare diseases in Ireland, and the Minister has committed to working on this. Thank you. And thank you